Tell them the episode.
Masters on episode 90.
Episode 90. Got our man Twiz in the building. You know, it's Berto, and then none other than yeah, boy Justin here, hosting the best goddamn podcast in the world. Masters of None.
The unofficial number one.
Yeah, this is the official number one. I don't care what anybody says. It's number one in the only book that counts. The book of the top G.
I was just gonna say the book of your heart.
Yeah, the book of my soul. That's the only one that matters, bro.
There's some things I want to address like immediately.
All right, yo, we'll jump right into it. What do you want to address, bro?
There's some
Talk
things
to the
I
people.
want to address immediately.
Talk to the people.
And I don't know if we should wait for like the chat to get popping, more people to jump in or not, but I gotta get people's opinion. You know what? I'm gonna hold off.
All right, hold off till we get some people in the chat. Go to our Instagram page, Masters of None, and go and answer that poll. There's a couple of polls up there. If anybody's interested, we'd like you to jump in there so that we could get a little bit of background on what you guys think about a couple of these topics.
Yeah. So, well, we could talk about one of them, right? The Kardashians, their new show dropping on Hulu, which is, everybody knows, the worst fucking streaming platform on planet Earth.
You think so?
Right there next to Peacock.
Wait, time out. What?
He hates it for one reason, and it's a reason that makes no sense.
Really?
Well, I've kind of have to die on this horse now. I've since realized that it's not necessarily, you don't have to like, okay, so this is why I don't like it.
Oh, man.
Because of the commercials.
Yeah, but that's only if you don't pay for the one without the commercials, my man.
Which is true.
Thank you. It's like $5 for the one with commercials, which is
how much is
understandable. It's $10 or like $9.99 for the one without it.
Yeah,
I think is fair.
I think it's like
it might be $12, like $12.99 or something.
Yeah, I think it's like I want to say it's like 16 or something like 10 and 16. Whatever the price is, there is another price that you could pay to not get commercials. I just hate the fact that there's a commercial. There's like even a commercial option. But also, I'm one of those people that I don't watch commercials at all, and I don't like commercials at all. So like I don't mind paying extra money for a streaming platform or whatever it might be to not have commercials, right? So I pay for YouTube Premium so I don't get commercials, which also comes to YouTube Music, no commercials. I don't have cable, so I don't watch commercials on TV. I don't listen to the radio because you listen to YouTube Music. And I don't watch like regular TV.
Do you have satellite radio?
No, I don't have satellite radio.
Just wonder.
No, I don't. So like I don't intake anything with commercials. So when I see them, they like really trigger me because like they really are just modern day brainwash. Like they're just trying to convince you into buying their products.
So are you an instant gratification kind of person? Like you need what you want right now? Or is it just strictly like you don't want to be brainwashed?
All right. So look, a show you could on television is about 33 minutes, right? You watch that show with no commercial, it's about 22 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. It's 8 minutes of advertisement, right? That's about 30% of what you're watching. So 30%, because 10 minutes would be 33%. So I don't know what the number really is, but it's about, let's just say it's about 10%.
27.7%.
All right?
23.2%.
No, it's less. It would be like even 19% or like 18%.
Yeah.
So
we'll go 18.9.
Sure, 18.9. So that's how much percent of the show of the half an hour you watch. That's the percent of it that people are just trying to convince you into buying things that maybe you need, maybe you don't need, whatever the case may be, right? Radio, it's just the reason why I don't listen to the radio is because A, there's a lot of commercials, and B, the radio's not a good place to find new music or find like good music or anything like that. They just play the same songs. How many times have you, if you live in New York and you listen to hip hop and R&B, then I know you listen to Hot 97 and 105.1, right? How many times have you clicked on Hot 97 and they're playing a fucking shitty song, and then you click on 105.1 and they're playing the exact same song?
Every time.
I don't listen to the radio at all.
So, but what I'm saying is that shouldn't, with the amount of music that's out, that should never happen.
Yo, Fab, what's
Well,
up?
it's because they're paid.
Well, yeah, sure.
You know,
so they're bought off. So that's why. I guess that's why I don't want to watch them or want to listen to them. Rather said,
but just to get in, I'm sorry, just to give you the prices. Well, just know for the prices. So the regular Hulu with ads is $6.99 a month. So that's $70 a year, and then for no ads is $12.99 a month, and you can watch most of the same shows and movies without ad breaks. But I do know there are certain ones that you can't Like it's just unavoidable. You have
What?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I used to.
I don't
I
think
once,
that's true.
I once had Hulu, once upon a time, and there's certain ones. No, I'm pretty sure there's certain show, like very few, might have been like 5 or something like that.
But there's shows that they play ads on anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just not into commercials. You know, it's I get it, I understand it, but I feel the same way about children's television, right? I don't think that there should be commercials on there too.
Really?
Yeah, the kids aren't like, you know,
Oh, do you mean on regular TV or like YouTube or something like that?
children's television. So like, let's just say YouTube Kids,
Okay.
right? I guess like Nickelodeon's different because there's like it's a wider demographic, but on like young children's television, like I understand why there's ads on there, but I think it's a very I don't want to say unfair. I think it's like a very
Like unethical.
unethical. Perfect. That's
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you very much, Justin.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree.
I think it's very unethical to put commercials on children's television when children do not have the ability to go out and buy items.
Yeah,
they can
they-
only ask their parents for them.
That's the whole point. And then when parents break under the pressure, they get sales. That's the whole point. It's the same reason why the worst food is within children's eye level when you go in the grocery store. It's the same reason why the candy is down here at CVS.
Yeah.
It's not for you to, God damn it, I got to bend all the way down there to get this candy bar. No, it's because that's where the kid is. When he's waiting for his mom to check out, he's staring at the freaking the Butterfinger, if they even sell those anymore. He's definitely not staring at the Three Musketeers. That's for fucking
Who
sure.
the fuck eats? That's you want to catch a fucking predator? You fucking follow the guys who take those home.
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Three Musketeers. That's the one with the Nugent. What's inside that? I don't even know what's in it.
What, Ted Nugent is
No,
inside
I don't
every...
know what's in that
inside-
shit. Is that the one with, like the mystery?
It's called nougat.
Nougat. What is that?
Yeah.
Nougat.
Was that that part of the chocolate family? Is
I
that
don't
shit
know.
Nutella without sugar? And I just don't know.
No, it's like some weird space foam. I don't know. It's very
Yeah.
strange. It's weird.
That's definitely the shit they feel like in like cracks and cement, so like air doesn't get through
Oh,
your
yeah.
foundation and shit.
Guys, nougat is an aerated candy made from whipped egg whites and egg whites, and a boiled sugar syrup. It's kind of like marshmallows, but it almost always contains roasted nuts like almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, and pistachios, and often candied fruit.
Okay, so it's like marshmallows, but fucking gross. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's like It's like healthy marshmallows.
You know what? Nougat, I'm thinking, might be different, actually.
Really?
Nougat, I think, is what's in a Milky Way, which is not the same shit that's in a Three Musketeers. Right?
I don't know. I tell you what I do like though. 100 grand.
100 grand's pretty goddamn good.
man.
You know? It's pretty goddamn good. You better eat it like a few hours before you go to bed and brush your teeth thoroughly.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, you lose a filling eating one of them motherfuckers.
Bro, you lose a whole tooth. You'll lose a whole goddamn tooth. You want the tooth fairy to live at your crib? Eat some fucking 100 grand. That's for sure.
My boy cracked his tooth on a corn nut.
Damn. I'm actually glad that happened to him, because who the fuck eats those?
Psychos. Those
Wait,
shits
was
are
it?
hard as
I don't even
fuck.
know what that is.
That's what he
Corn nuts,
deserves.
that's some poppy shit. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like a hard like kernel of like, it looks like a peanut almost, except it's hard as fuck.
All right, we got numbers coming in. All right,
All right,
so
you
far,
want to talk about it?
so far, Courtney's winning.
All right, Courtney's winning. We wanted to talk
let's go
about
back to-
Courtney's
we got a couple polls
And
on
I
our
agree.
Instagram. A couple topics that we're going to talk about tonight. So we put the polls on the Instagram so people could tell us what they think. I wanted to talk about it in the beginning of the episode, but I wanted to wait for some traffic to generate and people to come in. So I'll address it now. I'm going on vacation in the future, and
And where are you going?
No, I don't know if you want that. Might have some.
I'll tell you where I'm going. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to Italy. So it's a big fucking country. you know?
Italy.
So I'm going to Italy. So when I go on vacation and I book my trips, and I'm not going next week. This is very far away. But whenever I go on my trips, I always like to be prepared, right? I like to be ready. There are things that I like to have. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, I've traveled to Europe a few times, so I have a surge protector that has the converter at the end. So now, like whenever I go, I pack that, I plug that thing in, I could plug it into, most European countries, and I could plug my devices into it. It's good to have, right?
Sure.
Another thing that I thought was very good to have is this here string that's holding my glasses around my neck, right?
Otherwise known as the Virginator.
So I'm on the phone with Justin the other day, and I'm about to order it, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm fucking hyped too." This is like the most devastating part of this whole story. I'm like so excited to tell Justin that I'm fucking ordering this like fucking string loop thing, and like I'm excited to the point that I'm ready to get them for the whole team. Right? I'm ready to buy like 6 of these things so that all my friends, and myself can, be worry free about their shades. And Justin turns around and just fucking tells me how not cool and how I'm like the anti-poon. I'm like the anti-poon if I wear these. He sees some old man shit.
Yeah, bro. I'm just trying not to have you be the guy with like the Hawaiian shirt and the high socks and the cargo shorts with the Tiva sandals strapped up with Velcro and the one line of the shit on your nose so you don't get burnt. Yeah. Like I'm trying not to let you be that guy. That's like, hurry up, honey. We have 17 other places to see with a map in your fucking hand. That's what I'm scared is going to happen. This is the first
might
step.
say something like that on vacation.
Yeah. This is the first step right here. Getting that is the first step in the evolution of becoming the lamest tourist that's ever lived. And I don't want to see that happen to you. I don't want you to get engulfed in that fanny pack realm of, I just don't want that. Okay. I'm trying to help you out. This is an intervention.
You don't want me to
I didn't want to tell you. But Twiz, take out your letter. All right. I'm going to read to you about how much I care about you and what this has done to you.
I think it's so funny because I genuinely feel like it was such a good idea, right? So this is the thing about sunglasses, right? And people that wear glasses, they understand this. When you walk into a building, right, you have 2 options. You have a couple options. Well, 2 major options that are going to decide other options, right? You can either leave your glasses on and look like a douchebag, or you can take your glasses off and then figure out a fucking place to put them. Justin's the kind of guy that wears them behind his head. I'm the kind, I don't know where I'm going to put my glasses, If you put them on top of your head, you could, if I tie my shoe or go pick up my kid, which might happen very often, I could drop them. I bought, I spend a decent amount of money on them. I don't want to drop them. In addition to that, I can't fucking put them in my pocket. I'll crush them. I like to wear my jeans fitted. Half Dominican.
Yeah,
you know how I wear my jeans.
I know, bro. Believe me, with the diesels.
Yeah,
and the boot cut tight joints. I know all about it.
Nah, I'm not a boot cut guy, but
boot cut tight joints with the t-shirt tucked in and the big belt buckle.
Yeah, I never wear everything but the boot cut. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Like, is this something that you wouldn't wear, like in fear that you would repel women?
I just don't want you to come home divorced.
And this is the sleek one too.
Yeah,
I could have gone. I could have fucking bought the lanyard with like the Dallas Cowboys logo on the back and shit.
Yeah, you definitely could have, and you definitely. Please don't do that.
Is there ever an appropriate time to wear something like this? If I'm if
you're playing center field for the Dodgers, yes. If you're fishing, if you're wrangling some marlin in the middle of the Atlantic, absolutely. But when you're walking through the streets of Rome, one of the most fashionable cities in the world,
definitely fashionable.
I don't want you to stand out like a turd in a punch bowl.
Okay.
But I also don't want to influence your decision. If you want, it's your own choice.
No, you told me this before I bought them.
Yes.
And I pulled through. I bought 2 of them. I bought one for myself.
You want to back up?
And I bought one for my wife. And I busted them out. And so get this.
And what did she say to you?
She started laughing as soon as you put
And what did she say? Is she wearing them?
She said, absolutely not. She said, what's wrong with you, Berto? Yeah.
She's like, I'm trying to have people know that I'm with my husband, not my father.
Yeah. So I gave hers away to somebody else. I got somebody else that night. I was like, yo, what do you think about these? And he was like, son, I've been trying to find a pair of those. Those are sleek. And I was like, I got a pair for you in the car. Don't worry about it. And I gave him the wink and the gun.
Wink and the gun.
Yeah, I do find myself doing like the old man shit.
Yeah, you're like, yo, you know what we're doing? I got a great parking spot outside.
I know. Fucking watching the neighbor and shit, concerned about what time he's taking out his garbage and shit like that.
Yeah, I hear you. You're like, mailman's late today.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be doing some old man shit sometimes. But this, I think, is just...
all right.
I think...
We got some feedback in the chat.
All right, let's hear it.
So we got some feedback in the chat. We got We got close them and hang them in the center of your shirt below your chin.
The reason why I don't want to do that is because it's gonna pull on like my collar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got another one here.
All right.
It says, I had to use those as a lifeguard. I hated them. Then we got another one. Only if you're at the beach.
Okay.
All right. And then we got to vote for Kendall.
Supposed to vote on Instagram.
No, I'll take the vote on here too.
Courtney and Kendall are definitely depends on the day. You know, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
You know,
if I gotta pick one, obviously Courtney's the baddest one.
Yeah, Courtney is the baddest.
Courtney's the baddest one. I think it's
she ages like a fine wine.
Unanimous. I don't even think that she should be included on like who's the hottest and we're talking about who the hottest Kardashian is. We've closed the loop on the sunglasses.
I see what you did there. We closed the loop.
We closed the loop. You guys, if you see me in the street and you don't see me with it on, it's because these suck. They fall off my glasses, so they don't even work. But I'm gonna find ones that are gonna work.
Spruce them up.
Yeah. I'm gonna get something thick. Anyways. I'm gonna get something.
You're gonna put some Gorilla Glue in there and make them stick, aren't you?
No, I spend too much on the sunglasses. I can't. Yeah. But going back to what we were talking about with the hottest Kardashian.
Can I say one last thing about the shades?
Yeah, sure.
With all due respect, and with me being honest with myself, I have ruined probably $2,000 worth of sunglasses over the past few years by dropping them, stepping on them, leaving them places. So I will say that. But even having done that, I will pay $2,000 to never wear that.
Well,
carry on. Let's go next.
And we were talking about this before the podcast, but the reason why I bought these is because the Gucci sunglasses I have are fucking ruined.
Gucci.
So, and I spent a ton of money on them. Not a ton. Well, I got them like set off for somebody else that they fell off the back.
My man's balling. Gucci.
No, Gucci this, Oakley that.
These were cheap compared. The Gucci's were twice as much as these, and I fucking ruined them. They lasted me a long time. This guy showed up to my house the other day with his work glasses on. You know what they were? What? Ferragamos. My guy's has the nicest sunglasses collection I've ever seen. But I don't want to
say it again.
Nicest sunglass collection I've ever seen. I don't want to get back into the sunglasses thing. Who's the hottest Kardashian? The Kardashians. If you guys missed it, we were talking about it earlier in the episode. They're dropping a new season of the Kardashians. It's going to be on Hulu.
So that just brought us into, because nobody really gives a shit about the content of the show. So that brought us to the discussion that that men typically have. Which one is the hottest Kardashian? That's really all that matters.
I don't want to talk about the show. Which one of these broads is the baddest?
Yeah, facts. And if you look at the poll on Instagram, if anybody's curious, I left Chloe off there because that's like nobody ever picks Chloe. So we just got
personality.
Yeah, listen, if I could take Chloe's personality and put it on Kendall or Courtney, it'd be a wrap.
I don't really think Kendall's that bad.
Kendall is a dime piece.
Courtney's the baddest one. She shouldn't be on the list, right? Right behind her, Caitlyn.
I love it.
She glowed up the most.
I'll tell you what. Caitlyn ranks higher than Chloe.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. Listen, Caitlyn ranks higher than Chloe,
and they left her off the new show. She's not on the new show.
Yeah, I know, but I'll tell you where she is. She's a contributor on Fox now. They hired her.
She is. Yeah, she's not only that, dude. What? She also owns she owns a racing team too.
Like a car racing team?
Yeah, a women's car racing team. It's like Formula One. It's like it's not Formula One, but it's like, let's just say the cousin to Formula One.
Get out of here! Wow,
yeah, bro.
I bet they're the worst team in the whole Formula One.
No, they only compete against women. Is that what you said? Is that how you said that?
Oh wait.
I'm just trying to avoid what's next.
Wait, are they racing like so? So is this like
it's a women's league racing thing? And I don't.
But is it like do they take Hondas and they switch the motors with like Fords?
Nah, bro, it's like Formula One cars, like Indy cars, bro. Oh, okay. This is like real deal shit.
That was a joke opportunity, but I guess
Did I miss it? Because Danica Patrick drives the NASCAR. She's legit as fuck.
And she's legit. But I'll tell you what, don't be surprised if Bubba Wallace comes out and says a woman tomorrow so he can compete and try to win.
So he can compete in the fucking... he can't be on Caitlyn's team. Caitlyn explicitly said when she was on the Nelk Boys podcast that she doesn't support that.
Men dunking on women?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's doesn't agree with
Is that not an oxymoron? That's an oxymoron.
It's not an oxymoron.
No, it's not an oxymoron because
that's the ultimate opinion. That's the ultimate opinion. That's a professional. That's an Olympic athlete that agrees that is crazy to have the number 462 ranked male swimmer in NCAA Division I swimming come over to to become a trans woman and then just smoke all the girls by like 12 minutes. That's
I thought that was pretty insane myself, but we're not here. I don't get paid for thinking. Not yet, not yet.
But anyway, I digress. So Kendall looks like she's kind of taking she's running away with this thing.
I got a question.
What's up?
So do you guys think that, because I don't watch the Kardashians, but I may or may not know a person or people that do watch it. Do you think that the Kardashians appeal, or rather the show has had so much longevity because of their sex appeal? Or do you think that the main consumer, like the main consumers of most things, are women? So you think it's women that want to be like them, or do you think it's like men and women that kind of want to, that are attracted to them?
So you're right. They have been on for a long time, right?
It's mainly women. That's their main demographic would be women. I doubt it's a bunch of men watching the Kardashians.
So I think it's multiple things. They've been out since 2007, and one of the reasons why they're so big is because not only are they the Kardashians, but it's reality television.
Sure.
And people love reality television.
They do.
We have all at one period watched 7 Strangers, Set to Live in a House, right? The Real World. Now it's 7 Kardashians spending a bunch of fucking money. You know what I'm saying? You get to, it's and you got to think that they're not the celebrities that you get a lot of insight on their life because they're famous, because they're singers or they're this or they're that. So if they wouldn't have that show, you wouldn't get any insight on her life.
This is true. But do you think that any of them have any credibility outside? And again, I'm not a fan of the show. I don't watch the show. But do you think any of them would have any credibility outside of the show?
They're all really successful business
In what
people.
sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
they're pretty significantly successful, all of them.
But don't you think that, like, for example, I didn't even know what a Kylie and a Kendall was until something about them being in a show or something. Like, I didn't know. First off, I didn't even know there was a Courtney. Only person I knew was Kim, because Ray J, to be honest with you, because he hit it first.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
He's just stating facts. You can't get mad about
Yeah,
facts.
you know what I'm saying? So at that point, I don't really know.
You hear that? I'm going to put the mic up.
That's the sound of summertime right there,
That
baby.
means that's the ice cream man right there. I'm going to stop him right now and get a chipwich and a choco taco.
Go ahead, Twiz.
But yeah, so do you think that any of them, and I guess you kind of half answered it, but kind of in rebuttal, do you think any of them, because I don't really think that any of them professionally would have had any burn apart from Kim, because she was out in the mainstream. None of them were mainstream until I believe the show came out, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
I think you're right, and it's right. That's absolutely right. But that's most people, right? They find some way into fame, and then they leverage that fame into a business opportunity if they do it properly. Like if you look at, The Miz, the wrestler, he was on The Real World first. And he was, and he used to joke around. He was like, he has this character called The Miz, and he used to like pick the girls up and like slam them on the couch and shit. And then he actually progressed to the point where he became one of the biggest WWE superstars in the world. He really leveraged that into a full-on career.
That's sick.
Like that. There's a lot of people that have done that. Like, there's artists that have done it. Now you look at these TikTok artists, they're literally dropping records on TikTok and then getting deals.
Yeah. That's sick. I think that's very sick. I think, you know what? You're right. I think one of the parts of that's actually really sick is that a lot of times it's all about marketability. It's not even really about the talent. It's all about having a platform. And I think that's one of the things we have to remember, like that reality TV set this up. Like reality TV was literally a bunch of people, whether they had talent or not, and they were put behind a camera for their 15 minutes of fame, and some people just capitalized on that 15 minutes and stretched that shit out to like 15 years. Like what's her name from Flavor Love, New York.
Oh yeah. Oh, New York did it big. Tequila really fucking dragged it out.
Yo, bro. First off,
but she disappeared.
Bro, I don't even know
she
who
had a
Tila
show
Tequila
with men.
is.
She had a shot of love with Tequila. Then she had a show with like, I think men and women, and it was like. And then
Shot of Love 2 or something.
Yeah, Shot of Love 2. And then
I've never seen it.
When you thought you forgot her, she dropped the fucking sex tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She started dropping porn.
Dude, her and that chick Farrah from Teen Mom, they were both getting stuffed at around the same time, putting out fucking videos, making money. If they would have waited for OnlyFans, they fucking missed the boat. They missed the bag. They would have waited. If they would have waited and then done OnlyFans, way more money.
No way to predict that though.
Yeah, no.
There's no way to see that coming. Yeah,
Monday morning quarterback shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's back to the idea of leveraging things into a business. I mean, nobody ever, because if you think about it, Kim was the first one, and then like, Khloe and Kourtney got famous off of the show, and Kylie was in the cut. Kylie was in the cut low key, working on being the biggest tycoon out of all of them. Mm-hmm. She's a billionaire, man.
Crazy. First off, that wasn't even Kylie. I saw the before and after pictures. That wasn't even Kylie before. That was somebody completely
Wait, hold
different.
on. Which one's the model and which one's the one that looks different? The one that's obviously had something.
Kendall is the model, and she's a legit supermodel.
Okay.
She's a legit supermodel. Like, she hangs with all those girls, like on those Victoria's Secret shows and all that kind of stuff. She really legit hangs with them. Like, she really knows what she's doing. She's put the work in. Like, there's, they.
So she's the only one. No, I'm just playing.
They've all put the work in, to be honest.
Kim's built a pretty big fucking.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
They've all kind of put the work in. I mean, I don't discredit anything that they do, especially their mom. Kris Kardashian is
what a hustler, right?
She is a savage, man. She's the manager of all of them. Like, she's the one that's out here really getting it.
Yo, another thing, not to continuously like objectify these women, but she's another one that like she ages well. Kris is a bad one.
Yeah, I bet Kris got, I'm sure Kris that, her face is constantly under construction, I'm sure. I
don't care what they're doing. She goes to somebody good.
Yeah, absolutely.
She doesn't look like Madonna. You seen that fucking thing we put up on Madonna a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Madonna looked.
Have you seen Madonna lately?
He was here when we did
she
that.
Get a lot of surgery?
Madonna looks crazy. She looks like she got beat the fuck up, and she stays looking like that all the time. Her lips are like, I don't know. I'm not into that look.
Yo, shout out to Figs in the chat. He said, yo, Berto's wildin'.
Yo, I'm just keeping it real. Kris is a bad one.
That's it, keeping it real, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I know Madonna. I think this because I remember the last thing I heard about Madonna. Two things was she was dating like some 22-year-old like barista or something like that.
Who was?
Who are you talking about?
Madonna. They said Madonna, like, she was getting flack for, like, her boyfriend was like some 22-year-old barista, and then. Yeah, and then, yo, listen, put some respect on their name. Listen, I know people that. Anyways,
I'm laughing about something Justin told me the other day about baristas. Nothing. I respect you no matter what job you do.
Facts, but also 50 Cent posted something about I guess she posted a picture with like her. I guess she had like I guess her ass is fake, and she posted a picture with like her ass out, and like she was under a bed or something like that. And then 50 Cent reposted like a meme somebody made of her being like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. Like, remember in the beginning the witch that
her feet are curled up after the house falls on her.
Yeah, and that's the one that Dorothy takes the heels off or some shit like that. He put Madonna like that, and then it turns like a beef thing or something like that. But that's pretty much it, man. I know shit like that. Like even in that, like, how old is she now? In her, let me pull it up. But I know she's definitely in her late, 50s.
No, she's older than that, dude.
No way.
Madonna is 112. She's
63.
Oh damn! I was just gonna
she's
take
born
a
in
guess.
58.
Yeah, bro. Yo, I think it's just interesting, like with celebrities and people in general, right? It's not just celebrities; it's people. Like this obsession with remaining young and like the appearance of being young, right? Mm-hmm. And that just changes like as time goes on, simply because of like what we have the ability to do, right? Now, I always tell like people when they're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't care if you do things to your body. It doesn't fucking bother me. You want to get a fucking donk ass that you could fucking sit a cup on top of and still stand up? Cool. You want to get huge tits? Cool. Whatever. I don't care. But like these trends are going to go away. Like that big fat ass that you got, that shit might be lit right now. But 20 years ago, like a flat ass was hip. Oh,
yeah. I say that about laser hair removal. I'm like, yo, wait a dude, because dudes get that. Dudes get that. They get like their like the laser hair removal, like for their shape ups and shit like that. Stuff like, I'm like, what happens when when that's not cool no more? You know what I mean? What happens when that look goes out?
Yeah. You're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know. But keep doing what you're doing, ladies. If you want to do whatever you want to do, or men too. You want to get your calf implants, dudes? You want to get your fucking you want to inject some oil into your biceps?
That synthol shit is crazy though.
You ever seen that? You ever seen that, Swizz? The dudes in Brazil that they put motor oil in their biceps.
These guys are idiots. They are so stupid. It don't make you stronger and it looks terrible. You just look like a lumpy like a lumpy sack of potatoes. That shit is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would do that.
It looks like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like, you know when you have like an air mattress for too long and it starts to fucking deflate in certain areas, so then it looks lopsided.
It's all boggy.
Yeah, it's all fucking boggy. That's what it looks like to me.
You remember that person that was down in Florida that was fronting like they were a plastic surgeon and they were filling women's asses with like Fix-A-Flat and shit like that and like concrete. Yo, it was terrible, yo.
I've heard of the chicks with the cement in their ass.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to Cardi, right?
Was it Cardi or was it?
I think Cardi B said that she had like she just did her shit like in the Bronx somewhere.
Yeah, there was some chick. I think in the past in the news in the Bronx, I believe so. There was a chick who died or something like that, like from like she had got ass implants or something like that, and it was disgusting. And I think they said she passed away like because of the whatever it was. I was in there, you know. I don't have the exact article, but I definitely remember reading it where there was an issue and she died from complications.
Damn.
Facts.
Can't be playing around with that, man.
Yo, the cost of beauty, man. Listen, ladies, everybody in the world, you're beautiful the way God made you. You don't need to add anything. But if you so choose to, you are within your right to do so.
Yeah, go for it.
We love you but remember, we love you for who you are.
Yeah, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Nah, there's some of y'all out there that need surgery. I can't agree with Twiz 100%.
Yeah, but we can start with braces at the very least, right? And then work our way up from there.
Yeah,
if you want to start making alterations, there's a couple safe ones you can make.
Yeah, I mean, I had braces twice, but there are a lot of y'all running around there that could benefit from a little bit of. Yeah, I had them twice, bro.
I'm gonna end up having some kind of thing twice. I had them once, and I didn't wear my retainers, and I also hurt myself, and I like shifted a bunch of my teeth. I
Bro, you trying to eat jawbreakers?
I felt the bike with my mouth open. I had like tar in the back of my teeth. It like shifted all my teeth. But
that sounds like a cop out. You didn't wear your retainers, son. Own up.
That's the first thing I said.
Own up.
That's literally.
Don't make this a traumatic injury.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to return back. I'm gonna rewind like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The first thing I said was I didn't wear my retainers, and I was like, and I was in this accident. And what happened was the reason why I didn't wear my retainers is because it hurt to put them on because my teeth were so loose.
Yeah, because you didn't wear them on initially. You didn't wear them initially.
My teeth were loose.
Oh, all right.
And I just never wore them again.
And then they just like formed up.
I guess over time they just
Yeah, I feel you. It's a pretty brutal thing though. I had braces a couple times. That shit is pretty brutal, man. They go in there and there's literally like a wire hanger pulling your teeth in this direction and that direction. I'm like, that's kind of, now that I'm looking back, I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that again.
It's barbaric, but I'm trying to get that new shit, that fucking Smile Direct or
the Invisalign.
Invisalign.
Well, Invisalign is like saying like Clorox, right? Because like Invisalign's a brand. Like bleach is the product, but everybody calls it Clorox kind of thing. So yeah, exactly. But so Invisalign is like there's Invisalign. You could get Smile Direct. You can get fucking.
So you want 3D printed braces?
They're not 3D printed, but they're just like the clear drawings.
You can 3D print them.
They're gradual.
I'm sure you could.
It's a retainer. Like tapering program.
Yeah, it's faster. I don't know if it's more effective. I just know it's faster than wearing like traditional braces. It's not terribly expensive. Yeah. You could do it for like $2,200. Yeah, which for like a good smile, that's not that like when you think about it, like you spend $2,200 on like for a nice smile, it's worth it. I think.
Over time, I mean, you spent $200 on it.
I have a suggestion,
and they give you the fucking whole kit and caboodle. Nice. You get every single month. You get everything. So you get.
So it's a one-time purchase, and you're good.
Yeah, you get everything you need that day. Well, obviously you send in your things, and then they do it all for you. They there's different kinds. It's the ones that they send you the mold, and you mold your teeth, and there's another one where they do like you go to a location and they do a 3D scan of your mouth.
Nice.
That's the more effective one.
Shout out to technology.
Do you think people are disciplined enough to actually do that?
A lot of people do it. I know a lot of people that I work with now that we all work from home. Like not a lot of them, but I know a couple of them that have gotten it and used it. We all know somebody that had it.
But do they do it for the whole treatment period and it's effective, or do they quit halfway through?
That's what Tristan did. Tristan did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Nah, he had real braces.
No.
Oh, you're right. He did.
No, you know who did have them? Buddy had them.
What,
the Invisalign?
Yeah,
he went through the whole process and did him the way it's supposed to be?
For a fact.
Damn, that's good for him, yo. Because I feel like the majority of people aren't disciplined enough to keep with that.
Well, you gotta find something to keep you disciplined, right? For me, I'm gonna tell myself I spend so much money on this, I have to use it.
Yeah.
You know?
I know,
mean, that's a good motivator for most people. But I mean, think about how many people pay for the gym and never show up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people donating to gyms all over the place.
Oh my God, that's probably the number one business. Like that people are paying for, and then that and magazine subscriptions.
Yeah, and nobody subscribes to a magazine anymore.
Oh,
Yo.
actually, I got to resubscribe. I was, but my subscription ran out. And
What do you subscribe to? Playboy Classic?
East Bay?
Negative. No, you want to know the truth?
East Bay Cattle? I used to love East Bay.
No, I was actually subscribed to Bon Appetit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Bon Appetit. I used to get Bon Appetit.
That makes sense.
for
There's like recipes and
yeah,
shit.
for like
in
3
there.
years straight, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
cool.
still have.
I thought you were gonna say Game Informer.
Yo,
Woo! Game
nah.
Informer was fire.
Nah,
Yeah.
Game Informer was fire, but GameStop turned into a sham of its former stuff. I don't even want to get into that, but no, I
Wait, there's a correlation between Game Informer and GameStop?
yes. What are you talking about?
GameStop owned Game Informer?
Yes.
Oh, I
Really?
didn't know that.
Yes, that's why they would sell you a subscription. So what you would do is if you sign up for the subscription, they would give you a discount on pre-owned games because they all clearly beat you in the head and beat you in the head.
You can't say that word.
Yeah, I know. I call myself. They beat you in the head and they take your product for the low. They buy it from you for the low and then they sell it for the high. But here's what we'll do. If you buy our subscription, which guarantees us more money on a yearly basis, then we'll give you a discount on your pre-owned goods that we bought from you for the low.
Yeah,
That we're selling for
GameStop
the
be
high.
doing people dirty with the trade-ins.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
terrible.
God,
Listen,
yo.
bro, you go up there with like 2 PlayStation 5s, 3 Xboxes, a PC that with a 3090 in it, 2 monitors, a cell phone,
And a
a
puppy German
golden
Shepherd.
brick, and they'll be like, "Listen, this is $3.75." But
Yeah.
listen, and then the guy goes, "But listen, I'll give you $10 on the side. We don't even talk about it." You know?
Yeah. Or it'd be like $11 store credit. And you're like, get the hell out of here.
Going
bro.
to GameStop with like a fucking basket of shit and like you think you're gonna be able to buy a game and like you get there and you still have to pay like $40.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, unbelievable, bro.
I walked into a game store the other day because I found my I was watching a YouTube video about a guy who was recovering a save on a Game Boy SP, like Pokemon Fire Red.
Nice.
And it like made me want to go find my Game Boy and like power it up to look at my old Pokemon, right?
Facts.
So I found my Game Boy SP, but I couldn't find my charger. And
Oh yeah, I think you texted me about this.
I did text you about it because you had asked me for a charger at one point.
Yeah, and I went and bought one.
And then I said, yeah, I'll let you borrow my charger, but you got to give it back to me. You were like, nah, I'm not looking to give anything back.
Yeah, I'm like,
and I was like, okay,
Yeah, at
so
least
you
I
can't
kept it
use-
a buck.
Yeah, no, you kept it a buck. So then I'm like, damn, did I let Swizz borrow my charger? I was like, nah. So I'm looking through my texts. I can't find it. I can't find a text. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy one. I go to buy one and I see other Game Boy SPs there, and they're like $150, $200, and I'm like, damn, these are still selling for that much money. I was like, I wonder how much I get for mine. And I asked him, you know what this fucking guy told me?
$11.
he said, hold on.
He said
They're selling
nothing.
for how much? How much are they selling for?
They're selling for there's some for 150, there's some for 200, and mine
$22.
he offered me $30.
Is that insulting, or you were happy with that?
That's insulting. $30.
I wasn't gonna sell it anyways. I'm gonna keep mine forever. But yeah, it's like, dude, you're gonna quadruple up on me more than that.
Bro, I mean, you know what he said? When I go to GameStop and they offer me something stupid like that, and they go and I put something decent on the thing, and I see they're charging a decent amount of money for it, and say it's $150 like you said, and they offer me $30. I look them in the face and go, "Do I look like a crackhead?"
Do I look like I smoke rock, Joe Rogan?
right? do I look like I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan?
No, fiends would never go to the GameStop. It's the worst buyback.
Never.
Nah, yeah, nah, they can't because everything they're trying to sell is broken or stolen. You can't go in there. They're just like, yo, don't power it on, but give me $50.
They got a couple scratches on it, but
I swear to God, once you charge it, it works.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, okay.
Believe me, it works.
I was like Mark Curry. Mark Curry did a stand up and he said, "You say, yo, buying stuff from crackheads is the best." And he said, how do I know this TV works? He said, yo, it's still warm, right? He's like, you touch the TV and it's just still warm. He said, still warm, right? That motherfucker works.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
kinda
right.
funny.
That's your warranty,
Fair enough.
But shout out to just real quick. I'm sorry. Shout out to my mom because she took all my Bon Appetit magazines. I had like limited edition ones. I had some are still in the plastic. My mom took them and put them all in her house. So now she has all my magazines.
Oh, that's pretty cool. My grandmother threw away every single road and track I had. I had mad road and track magazines.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
And she was like, dude, they threw away mad. When I moved out, I still kept everything in my room. So like, you never know when I was going to come. Like,
Yeah.
I might come back, motherfucker. Like, so I just kept like a bunch of shit in my room. I moved into a fucking studio. Like, I didn't move into like a big place, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have room for all my shit.
You didn't have a studio. It was a 1-bedroom.
Before I had that, we lived in a studio.
Listen, humble
Oh, okay.
beginnings. Just humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then we moved. We were on the side of the house, and then we moved to the basement.
Got you.
So
Rotation. Rotation.
Yeah. I leveled up. So then, so all my stuff that was in my closet, like one day they just did like a spring cleaning and just like threw away everything that they thought was garbage. There was mad shit in there that like.
In all fairness, they're housing your storage.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
But what if you want to just pop up? You know, it's my bed. You know,
I mean,
it's a little like I respect that 1,000%, and I get it. It is what it is.
Yeah,
but it's like you don't need this. Right? Like
I would just. They definitely should have reached out to you.
Yeah, at the very
been
least.
like, yo, you know what? We're kind of getting ready to get rid of all this shit. Like, you gonna come get it or not?
Yo, we're gonna.
They might have.
And you were just like, yeah, right. I will eat that. You ain't throwing my shit out.
Now my grandmother was a gangster, bro. My grandmother would throw my shirts out if she felt I wore them too many times.
My mom would rip them.
Wait, what?
If my shirt had a hole in it, my mom would just tear it off me. Like, just put her finger in it and rip it. And I'd be like, what the hell? And she'd be like, change his shirt. And
No,
I'm
I
like,
witnessed that before.
damn, bro.
Yeah, same. If I wore a shirt, I remember I had this shirt. It was a Jay-Z shirt. Had a picture of Jay-Z on.
Hovey, baby.
Yeah, and he had like a hoodie on, but it was only half on. Remember back in the day, people used to wear the jersey like just one sleeve.
I
in?
do, yeah.
He had the hoodie on with just one sleeve in, and he was sitting on like a Bentley or something like that. And I used to wear it all the time.
Damn, that was like Hard Knock Life.
Yeah, but
Right.
I used to wear this shit all the time, and then one day I just couldn't find it, and I was like, "Yo, where's my shirt?" And then she was like, "I threw it away. You always wore that shit. You were wearing it too much."
Wow.
Whoa. She's like, you like this too much. I threw it away.
Yep.
Crazy, right?
Damn, yo. That shit is abusive.
Yeah, I forgive her.
Oh man. Yeah, life is funny like that.
I wanted to shout out one of the biggest gangsters right now running around.
Who's
Mr.
that?
Elon Musk himself.
Oh my God, dude just fucking showed us his piece 2 days ago.
Yeah, he definitely pulled out the hog in front of everybody and was like, listen, I'm trying to buy Twitter. He became the majority stakeholder and then was offered what? He was offered
a seat on the board. But if he got the seat on the board, it was going to limit the amount of shares he was able to purchase, which is going to limit the amount of influence that he could have.
Yes.
So he turns around and shows everybody how big this hog he has is and puts in an offer for $43 billion.
43 billion
To buy the remaining
to
shares.
buy the remaining shares and take the company private.
Yeah. Which, you know, and his goal, he released a statement about his goal. He says that Twitter is you know, would be the largest platform for global free speech. But the only way to get it to that point and to make the changes necessary to make it a place for free speech like that, it would have to be a privately owned company. You know, and of course everybody's losing their mind because they're like, no, communism, we love it. No. You know, so they're really kind of just like putting a hard stop on that. But so he wrote a letter with the offer. So I don't know if they're going to accept the offer. They probably won't because, you know, he offered to buy, I think it was like 30+% higher than his initial investment because once he bought it, it went, you know,
price went up
38%.
But how's that work for like, so if he buys 100% of the shares, right?
Yeah.
And he takes it private. How's that work for Joe Schmo that owns a couple shares? Do I just lose my, like I just get the money for my shares?
No.
Like I'm forced to sell my shares? How's that going to work?
No, I think
No.
he has to buy shares on the market that are for sale. I don't think. I mean, and I could be wrong. I'm not no stock expert or day trader or anything like that. But I believe in order for you to buy, it has to be up. And when people see the value or the numbers, you have to understand. A lot of people swing trade and day trade, and they sell things and just to make a profit. A lot. So people hold on to these shares just to sell them. So when Elon Musk comes and says he wants to cash out, somebody that might hold 100,000 shares or 200,000 shares might want to cash out and just kind of.
We're getting some information in the chat here from people that actually trade.
Oh, okay.
So Claudio and Spaz are both saying you're forced to sell. You get the money paid out, and you're forced to sell.
Because
I stand corrected.
There's legislation or there's like law in like trading. Like you have to do what's right for the
company.
For the
stakeholders.
The stakeholders.
Got it.
You have an obligation to stakeholders. So like let's say. And I don't know if this has anything to do with the Elon Musk thing, but like if somebody's coming in and they're offering you like, you know, X amount more money for something, like you can't just go with another person because, you know, you like them the most. Like you have an obligation to the stakeholders. So I guess he says you get the money paid out and yes, you're forced to sell. All right, whatever. I mean, you made a profit, you know, obviously, unless you bought in after he bought. But I don't know. I don't got anything against it. And if he buys it, good for, you know, those guys at fucking Twitter better be ready to work hard. That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying you better be ready to work hard because this guy don't sleep.
Yeah, he don't sleep. He's just looking for a platform of free speech. He's trying to limit this whole like beta computer tech owning the world type of thing.
Oh, so he's trying to get rid of all the algorithms.
Yeah. What, you disagree with that?
I disagree with computer techs like being like synonymous with betas. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're pretty synonymous. The guys that are like controlling like Silicon Valley are all pretty soft ass nerd guys that never at one point in the world ever were they somebody with any kind of power until now.
Well, no, I think chameleonaires out there. Don't do that.
I don't even think chameleonaires are small fry. These guys, these CEO guys didn't just sprout up overnight.
Well, no, I think he's a bigger fry
these
now.
Guys are people.
I mean, these are people that never had the kind of power they have now.
So you're talking
and
about
that's why it's being abused so much.
Yeah, the only part I disagree with is like I said earlier. I just don't think all technologists are like
not all technologists, because you're not a beta cuck.
Well, even the ones that I just don't.
What?
Nah,
oh, you think I am a beta cuck?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What are you shushing about over there?
No.
You made a funny sound.
I started laughing because I went to laugh and I said, "Wait a minute, did you just say that?" Yeah, this is a new lingo.
Yeah.
No, you weren't here for this, but there was an argument. There's a conversation we had a while ago about gamers and athletes. You know, and
the difference between.
Yeah. And I think this carries back to that, but it's fine.
Oh, you think so? That's not what that's not at all what I'm relating to. I'm talking about
these are correlated.
Yeah, he's not saying this. He's not saying this exactly.
I'm talking about the people that are like sitting at Google programming that can't do one pull up that now have this power because they can control information.
Well, I'm gonna be
Those
very
guys
honest
don't
with
got
you.
No fucking power. The
those
power's
guys do pull-ups. They got power.
First of all, not and like. I think you live in like a different world where you still believe like all like programmers are like small feral dudes in the basement like programming.
That's what I would bet any amount of money that the majority of those guys are that way.
No,
nah,
that's probably
what are they like?
When there was
they look like The Rock.
Listen,
and they're programming.
I think they look all different because, and I'm gonna explain to you why, right? Because it's not just programming isn't just like a sport of passion anymore. People know they can make money doing that shit.
I got nothing to say. The chat is shut down.
Spaz says you're not a beta cuck. You see his sunglasses.
I'm shutting down. Chat, it's getting shut down. Twitch, shut it down.
Listen, I took the string off my fucking son. Matter of fact.
Oh, here you go. Boom.
Oh, now I feel bad. Put it back on.
Alpha Chad in the house. Alpha Chad mode engaged. You know what? All programmers are cucks.
That's not what I meant.
They're all cucks. They all got spina bifida and carpal tunnel.
Yo, chill out. Yo, listen, I'll tell you this much. Those guys at Google are doing pretty good, man. Did you see they did like a little documentary where like they got like private chefs and open gym? I'm pretty sure COVID, them guys was in there putting in that work. They wasn't letting nobody go home, man. They was locked in like what's that word? Sequestered.
Well, no, they a lot of the
And you think they were doing anything besides riding their one wheel around the whole fucking building?
Nah, bro. I'm telling you,
is that what you think?
There's probably not gym getting right, man. I'm telling you.
Is that really what you think?
One day Google guy's gonna walk up, man. He's gonna shove you on the street. You're gonna be like.
I'm gonna be like, what the hell is gonna be some big ass dude's gonna fuck me up, right?
He said, yo, man, what you said on Masters of None episode 90 about Google Cooks? Yeah.
He said, Google Cook number 1 here.
Now take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk out of there limping like,
No, I will agree. I will give you like I do think that a majority of like technology is dominated by like introverted people, but I will tell you that it's becoming more of a mixed bag because like people have realized you can make money doing it, right? And as somebody who went to school for technology, like people in my class, like there was some classes that were full of like like the same like the same demographic, not the same like race or anything like that, but like the same kind of people, like people who like the same shit.
Yeah, like vegan shakes and shit like that.
Not like vegan shakes or anything like that, but yeah, sure. Like let's just say like a vegan club. Like if you went there and you talked about a game, like the odds are most people were gonna know about it. But there was other classes I had that were that people were taking the same major as me that weren't like that at all, and they were never even into technology, but they're doing this because they're like, yo, I heard I can make a fucking bunch of money if I become a programmer.
I would say that projecting in the future, I'm sure that's going to change.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's going to be like like other fields, like
medicine.
Yeah, there's certain fields of medicine that were dominated by women. or dominated by men rather, being physicians. And now there's going to be a point in the next probably 20 years where there's going to be the majority of physicians are going to be female.
Yeah, I thought there was more female physicians than male physicians.
I don't know, to be exact. I don't know if you
only
want to
thought
pull
that
up
because I took like I remember reading something about like the psychology and why people choose jobs, and one of the rationales within this article was that, you know, there's more female clinicians because women are more naturally caregivers, so they're more likely to take a job like that.
That would be, I think, more so nursing.
Okay.
Than
doctors.
Yeah.
But if you
because the majority of nurses are still female, but men are starting to flood the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Men, is way more male nurses than there's ever been. And if you look at and in general, like in medicine, there's just more people that are looking to get into it because they're like, yo, I can make a lick, you know, being a PA. When Forbes, I'm telling you right now, when Forbes named PA like the #1 job, this was like maybe like 6-7 years ago. PA won like a couple years in a row. But the first year they did that, there had to be an influx of people talking about, oh no, you know, I was going to be a CPA or something like that, but I can make way more money being a PA. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I think that affects like the demographic of people who you know, attend in a certain industry. I think that you know, maybe in the past it's been dominated by a certain other demographic because it was more like a passion thing. People had to teach themselves, and people you really had to love it to do it. Now it's like motherfuckers is like, I can make bread being a Linux administrator. Fuck that, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
I will say, it says here, as for what I'm reading, it says there has been a rise in women as a percentage of the physician workforce. It rose from 28.3% in 2003 to 36.3% last year, and that's from 2008 to 2020.
So that's females becoming physicians?
Yes, females becoming physician. It rose almost 10%.
So that's the percentage of overall physicians? So they're closing in on like 50%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're getting it.
You know, I'd say probably in the next 10 years it'll be 50-50. And then women will increasingly surpass that, because men aren't really messing with college. Like I'm saying, what Coast is saying down here in the chat. He said it's definitely going the way of females dominating anything taught in colleges.
Yeah.
He read a stat in Jordan Peterson's book that was talking about that. They will continue to and they'll continue to go up. Yeah. You know, that's definitely the way that it's going. I mean, women are starting to educate themselves more in order to then further compete in the workplace, which then they're like smashing on men. Like we could still like, you know, men are still taking the jobs like welding and shit and going up and being like union carpenters and union workers and shit like that. But when it comes to like high end education, women are crushing men. Like men are decreasing in college enrollment annually, like by multiple percentage points. You know, and I don't know what that. I think guys are just getting fed up with that shit.
It's also has to be somewhat driven by the fact that people are now there's not as much criticism to people taking like doing trades. Like I feel like 10 years ago people really like wanted you to do like go to college. Like, you know, even if your dad was a plumber, he wanted you to go to college. He didn't want you to be a plumber.
Yep.
But the truth is, now people are like, I can make a fuck ton of money being a plumber. I don't have to go to school. School's not for everybody.
I regret going to college. I have 3 degrees and I regret all 3 of them.
Nah, bro.
I wish that I went to vocational school. I was like, yo, I should have went to, you know, be a plumber or be, you know, a computer programmer or something like that. I should have done something or an electrician, like something I should have done. I feel like that was much less school intensive and less debt inducing. Like that's the problem is I think men are waking up to the fact that we don't want debt. You know, we're just like, no, it's crippling us. Like, you know, like that shit is crippling us. Like, you know, go ahead.
You know what it is? My input is one of the main things too that everybody has to remember is that
We're back.
Nice.
Go back.
Yo, hit the main twist.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. A little quick. Damn, Berto was quick on the draw, son. Oh my God, yo, put that shit on your shades. You deserve it. Get over here, bro. I'm about to bless you right quick, son. Get over here, yo.
The power of technology, baby.
I take back everything I said about these things. You go ahead and you put these on. You earn that shit. Yo, you go ahead and you put that on, bro.
Now that I'm wearing a hat, I realize that I could kind of put these sunglasses on top of my hat and maybe not lose them.
Yeah, that's not you.
But I'm still gonna go with if I find a better string, I'm still gonna go with it.
And I will go back to what I said earlier, and I broke a lot of shades not using something like that, but that I still won't do.
It is some fucking lame shit to wear.
Yeah,
100%. But it's the purpose. You know, only on vacation. There's certain things that are acceptable on vacations, like those stupid things you wear under your shirt, but you put your passport in so that way you don't lose it or get robbed for that.
Damn,
shit.
you just reminded me. I got to make sure my passport's still good. I got to look. Shit.
Or suntan lotion on the nose.
I don't get burned, baby.
Yo,
I'm a perfect peanut butter.
I am burnt.
Yeah. You are definitely. I'll put you in my dog's Kong any day of the week.
I've never been sunburned in my life.
I'm hot chocolate. You heard?
So yeah, but what we were saying before about the college thing.
Yes, about colleges. So the main point I was trying to make is this: is that a lot of us, and especially from our generation, we're told, go to school, get education, go to school, get education. That's where the money's at. But what a lot of us were coming to find out was that we graduated and there wasn't a lot of opportunity. There definitely wasn't a lot of money. And even with opportunity, there wasn't a high rate of success and growth. So a lot of people underneath us, my younger brother, my younger brothers or younger siblings, or maybe your younger siblings, cousins, they're starting to see like a lot of times everybody went to school to be a teacher. We got a bunch of teachers, and then people not being able to find work and having all this debt. A lot of people that went into these careers where they were promised to make a certain amount of money or get into a certain field that they wanted to, and they're not finding jobs in those fields. And then things like COVID happened. Am I allowed to say that? Things
You said it twice already.
Oh, I'm sorry. So things like that happen.
Things like the panorama.
Yeah, things like the panorama.
The Schmamic.
Yeah, the Schmamic. And then a lot of people are still out of work and losing work. But some of the things they can't take away from you are trades. Being a plumber, because guess what? No matter what life gives you, you're still gonna shit. You know, no matter what happens, you still got to get food. You still need repairs. You still need a place to live and things like that.
All those trades you need.
Yep. And they allow you to start your own company.
It gives you financial independence. Yep. One of the things that you mentioned that I wanted to talk about is people going to school and not finding jobs, and people going to school and having an inability to pay back debt. Right. So
it puts you in a hole. You start in a hole.
Yeah, you start in a hole. But a school you can go to a school to study fucking basket weaving and pay and end up in 120 grand worth of debt. That university knows that people who weave baskets will never make that kind of money, but they'll charge you that much for that education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think this is that we got to be like real smart about what we're choosing to go to school for. Yep. Don't spend, $500,000 in an art school knowing that you want to sell your own paintings, because the truth is, like, there's a lot of people who paint who don't make that kind of money. And secondly, the work doesn't end when you finish school. It kind of begins there.
Yeah.
When I think that there's this misconception, and I'm not saying the school's the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
I'm just talking from my experience, because.
But you're right. It prepares you for like entry level in that field the majority of the time.
Yeah, like that's your starting point. So like, there's this expectation, like, I finished school and like fucking nothing's happening or whatever the case may be, and it's like, motherfucker, that you haven't even started yet. And now you got to go start working.
Yep.
It's like you're behind, right? If you would have picked up a trade, you might be you're a 4 or 5 year apprentice. Maybe you're getting into actually being that, I don't know what, apprentice, journeyman, or whatever. Yeah. So
to be in like full book by that time, it's I think it becomes like opportunity cost you lose, because you're losing time over those 4 years.
Yep.
Somebody working a regular job has a 4-year head start on you in terms of money and finance. They're making money.
Yep.
And secondly, people are now starting to think about the return on the investment. They're not looking at school like school used to be pitched as like a self-enrichment thing. Like, oh, you're going to learn, you're going to improve, you're going to make yourself smarter. It's about self-improvement and self-enrichment. No, really what it is this is an investment. And if I'm not going to make the return on my investment, then it's not an investment. This is a purchase. This is a liability. I just purchased a degree for $100,000, and now I don't have shit. I don't even have a cool car in the driveway. You're better off going and buying a BMW fresh out of high school, because at least you could drive around and do shit.
You're better off buying a used Corvette. No, but I will. And another thing is, what really kills me are the majors, like people who go to school and they want to be a doctor, right? And they major in biology. But then if you don't go to med school, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Research.
What about the people who go to school for criminal justice and then don't end up going to law school? What are you going to do?
You're going to do nothing. You're going to hopefully become a cop, which you don't even need that degree to be a cop.
No, you don't need that to be a cop. No. So it's like there's a lot of degrees out there that, like, you I don't know. I always tell people, like, if they are interested in going to college, like, and they're like, I don't really know what I want to do or whatever the case may be, I always tell them, like, what kind of a lifestyle do you want to live?
Yeah.
Do you want to be very, very successful? You know, not very successful. Do you want to have a bunch of money, or do you want to have a bunch of time?
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. That's a great question.
If you want to have a bunch of time, then there's a lot of good jobs. Like you could be, like we talked about teachers, they get the summers off. You want to talk about nurses, they work 3 days a week. PAs, 3 days a week. There's a lot of jobs where you can make a decent amount of money, and then you can have a lot of time. Or do you want to be somebody who, you know, or do you want the money and then you got to pick, you got to strategically pick something that, you know, is known for making money. Oh, maybe you could be, get into finance, get into marketing. Those fields that statistically make money. You can't be like someone that's like, I want a big house and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to go to school for fine arts or I want to go to school for history. Because you know what you do when you graduate with a degree from history? What do?
You go and apply at Target.
Or you work at the local museum, the library, this, that. Like, you know, it's difficult to go to school for some of these things that you're so passionate about. I think you got to look at if school is what you want to do and it's not, you know, it's not for everybody, you got to be strategic about what you're going there for.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't go there because you really like fucking basket weaving.
Like,
no, I really like crochet.
Coast is saying in the chat that he thinks the one thing that school does provide is structured learning and being responsible. I think what it does is it grooms you to be a good employee. It teaches you how to obey, be obedient, be on time. You know, that's the kind of stuff that it teaches you, really, is to kind of be a little more controllable in a lot of senses.
Maybe, but I do think that it sets you up to work for somebody else sometimes, right? Most of the time. It sets you up to work for somebody else. I will agree with you there, right? But also, I think there's a lot of fundamental things that I learned in school that I like still take with me, like
in college.
Yeah, that I learned in college that I use today, during my job, or like in general, just like things that I've learned.
You know what?
But did you learn it? I'm sorry, Twiz. Did you? Are you thinking about what you learned in college?
Well, I learned in college.
Or are you sure that it's not something you learned on a job, on the job experience?
No. I'm talking about it's
like you're reflecting on school knowledge.
Yeah, when I'm at work and they're talking about like, you know, let's just say, I do work in technology, and they're referring to like, you know, because there's so many subdivisions of technology, that it's impossible for you to be an expert in it all, right? So, but if they bring up a term that's like a networking term, when I was in high school, I took a networking course. Yeah. So, I did the same thing. I took networking courses in college too. So when they mention an acronym, like I'm not super lost. I don't have to Google it. I'm like, oh, I kind of know what that means, and I somewhat know what it does, or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Maybe it's just because maybe that's something that's exclusive to like technology, but I would also think it's applicable to people who go to school for science or like the clinical people, right? Because when you take anatomy and whatever you take, right, you know where the body parts are, right? There's going to be something that nobody points at every once in a while, but you know it's there because in college, you know, you had to name all these pieces. When you work, after a couple of years of working, you start to forget things outside of your work. And then every once in a while, somebody will say something. You'd be like, "Oh, you know what? I do know that," because I don't know. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, no,
but I could very well, you know, it could just be me, and because of the area I work, I don't know.
No, I can't disagree with you there. I'm sure that's that's true. I probably reflect on things that I learned in college, like during a work day, that I don't really realize that that's where it came from. But I would say the majority of the adult life skills that I learned on YouTube.
I like the math I learned. I like the math.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of, because my concentration was in business, I like a lot of the finance classes I took about where you learn about taxes and shit. What class is that? It's not economics. It's accounting.
Accounting.
Yeah. I learned a lot of shit from my accounting class. Stuff that I still take till this day. Like, you know, just understanding like liabilities and assets, like I think is like super important. So like math skills, learning how to just basic math, not anything crazy, and that stuff is probably my biggest takeaways. Maybe who the fuck knows?
I will say this, kind of what Coase is saying in the chat right now. He says, being responsible carries over, like studying for tests, showing up to class, into entrepreneurship. In my opinion, and one of the things I was going to say is that a lot of the students, or some of the students, like you got to remember the underbelly to that. Some people are going there because they are seeking a better life. They are seeking that education, but strictly for survival. You gotta understand, there's some people go there and they don't really have much to work with, so they work with what they have, and that's kind of where I'm agreeing with Coast on, because you have to make something out of nothing. So there's days you're there eating ramen noodles. You know, a lot of people talk about the freshman 10 and you know, some people are literally there fighting every day to try to figure it out. So they're balancing work and you know, studies in order to get to a point they want to be.
Oh, now, yeah. You talking to two people that were very broke in college.
No disrespect.
I want you.
No, facts.
We were very poor. Remember, we told you about the story of my Ford Escape with the no windshield wipers.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So you know, so I said it to say this, kind of like on the opposite end of what you guys are saying. So like he said, you know, a lot of that stuff helps people understand the grind for themselves. You got to be motivated to get up for yourself. You got to be motivated to get this education for yourself. Now, how you utilize those skills that are granted to you, whether you allow yourself to be groomed into an employee or allow yourself to be groomed into a boss, is entirely up to you and how you perceive the things that your brain is ingesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they can only give you the tools.
And it's how
you then have to.
Exactly.
You got to go out there. The same thing, like it brings us back to the beginning, right? Where I said, when you finish with school, like you've just begun. Now,
exactly.
like there's nobody's gonna hand you a job. Nobody's gonna do this. Nobody's gonna do that. Like you got to go fucking find that shit, and then you got to start hustling. Yep. It's the same exact thing if you didn't go to school and you got to find a job. You got to hustle. You got to work your way up.
There should really be a major in like networking in terms of people and relationship building.
Oh yeah,
like, because that's the most. That's
another one that's hard to get a job with.
That shit's not real though. Their communications class is bullshit. I mean, like a real one that teaches you how to like manage people. Teaches you how, because communications is, everybody took communications class. That shit is horseshit. This shit is nonsense.
There's some people that majored in that shit.
I know quite a few that have majored in, or a couple that have majored in that, and
I love that.
And class. It's not. Yeah, it's a fun class. It's like anthropology. I thought that was so cool. But I was like, man, this is interesting. The study of human behavior and stuff and what people do. And it was like, oh, cool. You can make no money doing this.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's what I'm saying right there. You got to be careful going to do your passion. That's like, you know, I think that a lot of people discover that even when they do their passion job. Like, I think that people just need to do your passion on the side.
On the side.
And then it takes the stress off of like needing to be successful doing this, and then do a job that pays you enough money to be able to do your passion until maybe your passion flourishes into a successful endeavor, right? Yeah. Because when you end up like, at least, you know, for certain people, this isn't for everybody, this isn't applicable for everybody, but certain people end up going to work in an industry like if you love technology, then you go work in IT, and it's like, damn, you're just inundated with all this shit. Then when you get home, like, you don't even want to get on a computer. Like sometimes I'm on the computer all day, and sometimes I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't even want to play no video games. Like I'm just gonna. I don't even want to die a bunch of times in Elder Ring. I just want to go upstairs, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time, but it definitely happened to me when I first started working. I was like, I don't even want to I got to get off the computer. Now, I will admit that I'll stay on a little longer.
There's one thing I want to say, and then I want to switch over to that complete and total dirtbag from the New York City subway.
Okay, go ahead.
But I had a guy that I worked with. We all actually worked with this person. He was a painter. He did like painting like on the side, like did like art pieces and stuff. And I remember I asked him one day, I was like, why don't you sell this? Because he used to do like volunteer painting for the company. And I'd be like, man, these are really good. Like, why don't you get paid for this? Like, sell these. And I remember, I'll never forget, he told me he was in the middle of doing a painting, and he was like, nah, I don't do that. He's like, because then it takes the fun out of it. He's like, once you start painting for money, he's like, it's not fun anymore. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to ruin this for me. I love doing this. And I was like, damn.
Yep.
I was like, that shit was real.
That's gangster, bro.
Yep.
You know, but yeah.
But go ahead. I know you want to talk about this.
I don't want to, but he needs to be addressed.
We gotta talk about it. Yeah.
All right. So I was just on the New York City subway like 2-3 weeks ago with my girl. You know, and when I think, that's why I wanted to. And when I think about this dirtbag that went down into the New York City subway and threw 2 smoke bombs in the subway and then proceeds to open fire on passengers, on innocent passengers, because I'm sure that he's not getting laid. When I saw him, he's a sloppy pig, and I was like, oh, this is why. Because you're just a goddamn pig that hates your life, and you think you want to be mad at everybody else.
Yeah. Thank God he wasn't wearing a sunglass fucking rope thing.
Yeah.
Stock would have went way down.
So you know, it just upset me so much, because I'm like, you're just such a piece of shit with just like a half-ass below average life, and you think it's a good idea to go out there and just hurt other people. So You know, they ended up finding a bunch of things on this guy: fireworks, a hatchet, gasoline, smoke bombs, a large fuse, like all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's enough to light that fuse and throw some gasoline. I mean, you throw some gasoline, you light that fuse, and you drop some fireworks. That shit is a bomb. Yeah, you know, like right. Yeah. So they had found some social media posts about some things about him talking shit and just being like hateful. And now they're trying to make stronger gun laws. That's what the mayor says the response is. He wants to make stronger gun laws. I'm like, okay.
This guy didn't obtain his gun legally.
No, and even if he did, it's the mental health issue that needs to be addressed. This is not a normal person. Exactly. He would have done the same thing if he was behind the wheel of a car and drove it into a crowd. I mean, if the man wants to hurt people, somebody's going to find a way to hurt people. I think the only thing that would have prevented this many people from getting shot was a commuter on that train being armed. If somebody on that train was armed, this guy starts letting off, and they just put 6 rounds in his fat bag of slop. This freaking slimy. I'm just gonna chill right now because that shit got me pissed. I'm like,
let me get a fan for you. Hold on.
And the dude, the suspect is from Wisconsin. They're saying. So notice that he drove to New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's not from here. So he drove to New York, a place where he knew that the majority of people are not going to be armed and nobody's going to be armed legally, to then commit this heinous crime. How come he didn't go to Arizona and start doing this? How come he didn't go to Texas? How come he didn't go to Florida? Why? Because 45 people would have lit this guy up, would have lit him up like Times Square. Easy. You know what I mean? But this is what happens. Shooter, he's a coward. And he wanted to go and commit this crime in an area where nobody was going to be able to fight back. It was just going to be an unfair fight.
It's disgusting.
Do you know one of the things I thought that was crazy out of this whole entire situation? Not that the situation isn't crazy enough, but the fact that they're talking about the cameras didn't work in the subway. Like, how do they got shit that just don't work?
Because that's your taxpayer dollars at work, man. That's how it works out here. You've been on the expressway lately,
bro. There's a whole Reddit. There's a whole Reddit.
I know we've brought it up before, but I'm just saying. I just want to briefly touch. So if that's any display of our tax dollars at work, then you know what I'm saying. That's what comes down to our politicians and the governing body. These are the people that are supposed to make it safe, or rather oversee the safety of the people. These are the people that are put into these positions of representation, and even, I hate to say the word power, but even power, to make sure that things like this don't happen. And if things like this were to occur, the proper response time, and the proper precautions are set up beforehand.
Well, I don't even know if it's really them to blame right now, right? Because they did have cameras, they just weren't functioning, right? So it's the individuals responsible for monitoring this equipment that should be not held responsible for the situation, but held responsible for devices not working. There's cameras in there. If they're not working, then there should be like something going on, and maybe there is something going on for them to fix it. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, that's who should be held responsible. And then I want to go to the chat real quick. Because Spaz says something that was kind of interesting and funny. He said, well, with the smoke, it's possible that it would have been a bit crazy if there was multiple people with guns. And that could be. That is correct. But there's other situations where...
Yeah, that could be. This is a one-time situation. I mean, like, because this, there's been multiple scenarios where there have been people opening fire and people are just being mowed down like ducks, like ducks in a barrel. You know what I mean? So...
Cloudy says... it ain't the taxpayers. MTA don't know how to spend their money right, and it could be that too, right? Where they're putting their money. MTA, you're talking about the same place that was exposed 3 years ago for paying somebody like quadruple his base pay in overtime.
Yeah, I mean,
they're he's right. They don't really have a reputation for managing their money correctly.
Yeah. And it's something else too. I think it's a little weird that this guy left everything behind. He left the U-Haul key behind. He left his bag with all his stuff. He left the gun. He left the magazines. He left all the stuff. And then they just catch him in like the West Village. I'm like, this is weird to me.
I didn't know he wasn't from New York.
No. He's got a residence in Wisconsin and I think a residence in Ohio or something like that. He had like 2 residences that is something that he was tied to. And the way that they found this guy was the U-Haul key that he left. They found the U-Haul key and they traced it back to the U-Haul van that he drove to the site and then traced that back to where it was rented from.
Okay.
So, and that's the person. So that's the way they caught him. What is this? James, somebody in the chat is saying, Spaz is saying, I'm reading up on this now. They didn't even catch this guy. He turned himself in. No, I think he was caught.
He was caught 30 hours after.
No, so what he did was, and Spaz actually elaborated on it in the chat, but I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He saw his face on the news, allegedly, and he called in to the police himself. And he said, hey, I think I'm the guy you guys are looking for. Around, 12 p.m., I'll be at this McDonald's in the East Village or something like that. And the cops responded. They went there at said time or even before time waiting for him. He never showed up, or they got there late, whatever the case may be. And then
they got there late.
No, I'm serious. And then and then they casually found him just strolling around. Like, I think he was sitting on a park bench or something like that. And, I'm playing kind of telephone, but I do know that that's part of what happened. He said that he would be at the McDonald's. They went to McDonald's. He wasn't there. And then people were calling in tips that they saw somebody that fit the description. And then they found him within the vicinity of the McDonald's that he said he would be at.
Who's the guy that tipped him off? There was a dude that tipped him off, right?
Yeah, his name was, he's actually a Syrian immigrant. His name is Zach Tahan. I think he's a business owner that saw him on, like, security camera.
Someone get this guy a fucking permanent residency.
Yeah, and called the cops. But
give this guy a blue passport.
Yeah, look what Coase is saying, because Coase used to live in New Hampshire, so he's saying that in not that New Hampshire was being spoken about, but New Hampshire, their motto is live free or die. So they don't play that game. Everybody's strapped. So he just said in New Hampshire, everyone is strapped. And one night I worked in a club, there were patrons that wanted to start something, but they kept it moving because they knew that the bouncers and the employees had pieces. Like, they knew that everybody's strapped. And people are so quick to pull a gun when they know the person they're pulling out on doesn't have one. It's self-preservation. It's common sense. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I mean, they said this guy's a suspect. He's still like a person of interest and a suspect because he's the person that the van was rented under. But, people are saying they pretty much concluded that this is the guy. So I don't know if it is or it isn't, but it seems that way. I just think this is, the senseless violence is crazy, and we just need to have, bring back concealed carry. That's all I'm saying. Bring back concealed carry in New York. This shit will really cut down.
Yeah. Listen, I've gone to, I know a few officers. I know a few people that are just into guns for sportsmanship or whatever the case may be. I know a few business owners, and they all pretty much say the same thing. And even me, I'm kind of one of a sort of belief of a system in which, like he said, guns. If everybody had guns, they'll keep people with guns honest. And I believe that if you had to think, not even if you knew. But if you had to second guess to think if there was somebody else that may have a weapon, you would definitely be less likely to want to jump because you don't know who has what. It gives everybody an opportunity to reevaluate themselves. Yeah. A lot of times people will do things like this even off of impulse. Crimes of passion and things like that happen like this in a blink of an eye. But when you have to take that extra second and think like, if I go in here and I pull this thing out and then 16 other people got it, I just might get the person that I want, but everybody else is going to get me. Yeah. And I think that's part of the thing with like reality TV, and this comes full circle. Reality TV, Twitter, the Kardashians, like it all comes full circle because as a society, we've become so desensitized to the things that go on that we don't even second guess it. Somebody like him, who knows what his lifestyle was or what it was about or what was on his sick mind, especially if he's the one that did this, to harm people that had nothing to do with anything. A lot of these people, even if you look at the interviews, are just regular daily commuters, and a lot of people were there was a lady, she said, I'm fearful for my life, but I have to do what I have to do.
She got to go to work. No, she got to
go
now.
to work. Yeah.
Did anybody die?
Not that I was aware of. Hold on.
People got hurt. I know people were shot, but was anybody killed?
Not as far as I know. I think there were 16 people injured. People hit with fragments. I think he only shot 10 people, but there were, I think, 16 or a couple more than that were injured total, like in terms of gun inhalation, people that got like trampled exiting the subway. So there were a lot of injuries, but I think he shot around 10 people or so. But yeah, Spaz is right. He's like, for me, it's pretty simple. Bad guys have guns. I don't want to be the guy with a knife in a gunfight.
Yeah.
It says no one died. It says there was 23 people hurt, but no deaths. 23 people. Yeah.
That's a miracle.
Yep.
That's great.
That's a miracle.
I'm sorry. Mass shooting injured at least 23 people that occurred with no deaths. And he fired 33 times. So in that and
What?
Yeah, listen. And this
You know what that means? He had the extendo on there.
Listen,
have the
and this
extendo
is what
on
I
there.
said.
He had the
I said
extendo on there.
He had something that was definitely illegal in New York State, and not only that,
They want to limit the magazine size to 10 rounds.
yeah.
Well, guess what?
No,
the guy's going to get an
it already
extendo
is.
if he
Listen,
wants one.
But it already is 10 rounds. AR-15, you can only have a 10-round magazine. It has to be pinned, so you can't just reload it. You have to lift the entire upper of the rifle to load it, unless you have, certain other apparatuses, which some of them are illegal. You know what I mean? So this isn't, you can't just let off like that. A lot of times, and that's one of the
Get
things.
a bump stock.
And no, but even with, like they say, even with the bump stocks are so inaccurate.
They are.
That it's not even funny. So a lot of
Yeah.
times, and this is what I'm saying, a lot of people don't educate themselves enough on gun protocol, gun safety, gun laws, and things like that. They, people are still doing this and thinking that that's a kill shot. Like, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
proper way to hold the gun, the proper amount of ammunition, what types of ammunition, what guns.
Yeah, we don't get any of that because we're not even allowed to look at them.
Exactly. And that's part of the government's fault. We live in America. Everybody should have has the right to bear arms. Everybody should have the right to the knowledge, and honestly should be pushed to have knowledge. Even if you don't want to get a weapon, you should at least know what you're up against. And personally, I think that's one of the things that would help better civilian police relations. If civilians had a better understanding of the responsibility that a police officer carries, and if a police officer had a way better understanding of what a civilian is up against, there'd be a big shift. And that's my own personal opinion. But what I think people don't understand is that it comes from communication, understanding. If I don't understand you as an individual, you don't understand me as an individual, and we don't have empathy for each other's plight, how can we ever come to some type of common ground? How can you ever have the understanding to that maybe I'm going through something right now, and maybe the best way to get me down or to get me to calm down might be through words. And then there are other situations where it may be through force,
Yeah.
But if you don't have that empathy, if you can't empathize and you really can't bring it together and have an understanding of what somebody else's plight might be, and just have knowledge of each other's circumstances, then how can you make the best decision in that circumstance?
Facts.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree. And Second Amendment, I'm going to sit here and advocate for it because that lockdown in Shanghai right now is only that Shanghai lockdown in China is only happening because the citizens have been disarmed for many, many years. Yep. But I think
you can't even have sharp bamboo over there.
You can't even have a big dog.
Yo, I don't even get me started. They started wrapping up all the animals over there. When the Schmemic happened, they just started putting all the animals. I seen some footage that got released today.
I don't want to see that footage. I don't play that shit. Somebody come after my dog, you don't have to kill me because I'll take your head off.
They had like laundry baskets full of like cats and stuff.
I literally will defend my dog more than I'll defend a lot of people in my life. Facts.
We went over a little bit tonight, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you're still here with us, rocking with us, we appreciate it. Everybody who's in the chat,
please get some thumbs up for us.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell. If you want to listen to us on other platforms, we are on every other platform you listen to podcasts on. So Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of them. Check us out on Instagram for daily updates sometimes. And that's it.
And that's it, man. And Berto's definitely gonna wear this. I can tell.
Go to Instagram and I want you guys to tell me if this fucking string that I want to wear around my glasses on vacation is lame as fuck. Tell us if this is lame.
All right, guys. So we appreciate everybody. Twiz, thank you so much for coming through, guys. And that's it for us, man.
That's
it.
Oye, te hablo desde la prisión. Wilson Manyoma.